With us right now is the Democratic Congressman Jake Auchincloss of Massachusetts. Congressman, thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Good morning. You get a sense that Democrats see an opening in this expected leadership shakeup?
Given that the GOP is giving Marjorie Taylor Greene a standing ovation and booing Mitt Romney, I don't think it's expected. I think it's already been priced in that they are invested in the big lie. And that's really a shame, because the most important thing in politics is to speak truth to power. And the GOP is not listening. And Democrats really can't wait one way or the other. We are focused on continuing to make sure the American Rescue Plan works for the American people. That bill is more popular than Donald Trump throughout the country. And we're going to pass an infrastructure bill that rebuilds this economy from the bottom up.
You get a sense that the Democrats you guys get a sense, at least at the party, if not just fractured, the Republican Party, they're in a vulnerable state right now.
I think the GOP is trying to decide whether it believes in truth or whether it believes in Trump. And I hope that they reinvest themselves in truth and in rolling up their sleeves and in arguing policy with us in good faith. But again, Democrats have a very clear agenda of making big, bold infrastructure investments. And we're going to do it with or without Beltway Republican support, because we know that it's unifying throughout the country. As I go throughout my district and talk to independents and Republicans, elected officials and constituents, I hear that clean water, clean energy, broadband, transit, these are popular initiatives and they want them to pass.
So Trump spokesman Jason Miller reportedly said that the former president is laser focused on unseating Liz Cheney in 2022, telling, in fact, the Washington Post that it's one of the highest priorities as far as primary endorsements go. But Politico has reported that some Republicans are fretting over divisive candidates. Does this strategy hurt or help your party come next year?
It's so pathetic. Can you imagine being a former president and being obsessed with an elected official because they disagree with you on something? Look at what former presidents like Carter and Clinton and Obama have been doing in their 10 years after leaving office. Now look what Donald Trump is spending his time doing. It's really just a complete statement on the content of his character. Again, Democrats are going to campaign on showing government work for the American people, showing that it can create a more fair and prosperous economy. And we know that Republicans are going to throw culture war issues at us, regardless of what we do. And so we're just focused on making good policy work for Americans.
You attended Harvard within a year of Lee Stefanik, who has talked about this possibly replacing Liz Cheney. Cheney has a more conservative voting record than Stefanik. Based on your Harvard days and of what you know of her from there, is she more conservative? Is she the answer as the number 3 person for the Republican Party?
I didn't know her at Harvard. Have not met her actually in Congress either. What I would say is it really doesn't matter that much, the individual who's taking the number 3 slot in the GOP. What matters clearly is, does that individual put their own political capital behind the big lie? Because there's no opinion allowed in the GOP caucus right now that's not Donald Trump's opinion. So the question that the GOP has is, are they the Trump party? Are they the party that's willing to speak truth to power? And they're demonstrating with this vote and with the chorus of their caucus that they are invested in Donald Trump still. And that's not going to help the American people right now. The American people are sick of 4 years of lies and of selfish aggrandizement. What they want to see is, can we actually make the investments in infrastructure that make this economy the most fair and prosperous in the world, that help us outcompete the Chinese Communist Party in the 21st century, that makes the American worker the most productive in the world?
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there with the representative from Massachusetts, Jake Auchincloss. Thank you for being here.